the WWE 2K24 DLC has me pretty excited. From CM Punk to Jade Cargill to a lot of legends included, I feel like it's a really healthy mix. But I got a question. What the heck is going on with this pack? I got some theories as well we gotta get into, because the DLC pack number 3 is the Pat McAfee pack. Now, this has Pat McAfee included. Yay, I'm glad he's in there. I've wanted Pat in the game for the last like 2-3 years. It's been a while, and I am excited to see what else is coming with this. However, a big question mark. And I don't recall 2K ever taking this approach when it comes to a DLC pack, because all of the other packs that we have here are announced. Everything is outlined for us except for number 3. Pat McAfee pack is supposed to come out on July 24th, giving us Pat McAfee playable co-hosts, which we gotta stay tuned for more info, my faction content, co-host manager cards, and the superstar cards. You got a lot of cards, but every pack is giving us normally like 5 superstars. Pack number 1, the ECW Punk pack's got 5 superstars in there. The Post Malone and Friends pack has 6. The 4th pack, being the Global Superstars pack, has 7 wrestlers in it. And the WCW pack, the final one, has 5 wrestlers in it, and it's all legends. I'm very perplexed by number 3. Now, when this was all revealed, WWE Raw, they talked about the DLC, the video game, and Pat McAfee was on commentary, and he talked about this, that it was wild that he's gonna be in the DLC, but then he said this.
My guys are also in the game as well, so.
Boston Connor's in a video game.
I think so.
So they mentioned Boston Connor, who's one of the co-hosts on the Pat McAfee show. And I like Pat McAfee show. I watch it regularly. This is really cool for them. Pat has a massive, massive audience in the sports world. However, does this really translate to wrestling, WWE, 2K, the wrestling video game audience? I don't know. Pat McAfee as a playable character? Yay. But if we're taking up slots for his co-hosts, presumably 1, maybe more? Because Pat's got a lot of people on his show. Are they gonna be playable characters? Will they be managers? What is the deal with this pack? Now, if you know me, I'll try to be a little optimistic here, because we gotta assume the best, and then we could also prepare for the worst. If every single pack is giving us 5 to 7 wrestlers in it, the Pat McAfee pack should be around there as well. So, if you do give me Pat, Boston Connor, and a couple of the other co-hosts, are you gonna take up like 3 slots for Pat's guys, and Pat and his guys? And then we're left with the possibility of who else could be included. It's co-hosts. It could be on the side of the announcers, and we could see that as part of the DLC. So what 2K could do here, and I'm speculating, but it could be like announcers. It could be Michael Cole as a playable character, Byron Saxton being a playable character, Corey Graves being a playable character. Now in 2K23, we saw them appear in community creations, getting unlocked, and I mean Corey Graves, for example. You were able to get him on community creations. Very possible that this year they're like, here are the other announcers in WWE, and you could play as them too. And that would round out the co-host pack. Now, do I feel that that's very compelling? Not exactly. I'd be happy to have Corey Graves in the game, that's really cool, but I don't need, for me, slots filled up with Byron Saxton and Michael Cole as playable characters, especially in DLC. The DLC slots are critical, and I feel like if they do go down this path where it's like, okay, it's Pat and some of his buddies are gonna be DLC characters, and maybe they're gonna use other announcers within WWE to round this thing out and make it like a really fun announcers pack that's playable. That's cool, but I'd rather see those slots going to legends on both the male and the female side. For example, if we are gonna get that kind of pack, I'd much rather it be like Tori Wilson, Candice Michelle, Great Khali, Lash Legend, Lexis King, just a mix of different superstars, NXT and legends. And I know that DLC packs, they're subjective. People are gonna like stuff, they're not gonna like stuff, and not to defend 2K, it's probably kind of difficult, because also, I'm taking a guess here. I'm betting that WWE has a very, very big role in who is selected to be showcased in DLC content every year. I don't think it's just WWE 2K, the 2K team sitting there going, we're gonna check this off and we're gonna just pick these names because we feel like it. I have a feeling it's going to have to do a lot with what WWE wants, what they want approved, And then 2K says, okay. So if they want something like Pat McAfee really heavily showcased, he's on the announce team once again. He's been featured at WrestleMania a ton. They love highlighting Pat McAfee, so that could be part of all of this. But don't get me wrong, I'd much rather sit there and be like, oh cool, I got Torrie Wilson as playable. The Great Khali is in there too. Other WCW legends, Buff Bagwell, come on, let's go. Give me Vince Russo. I'm joking, don't do that. But I have a theory. I do have a theory with all of this, not only with this pack that we just talked about, the rollout for everything we got to talk about for a minute. The dates are very spread out, aren't they? The game comes out on Tuesday for early access and Friday for everybody that doesn't pre-order it. Congratulations if you're getting the game. I'm very excited about this year's game. May 15th is the first DLC pack to drop, and CM Punk is headlining this thing, and all of the packs, minus the third one, are very intriguing to me, and I feel like they each bring a lot of value. And the first pack being very good with CM Punk, the Dudley Boys, Sandman, Terry Funk. You got that ECW pack in there, and the headliner being CM Punk is very exciting for me. And then they go for the next one on June 26th, so you're looking at like 5 weeks from there. And then July 24th, we got a month later, we're getting the next pack. But then we wait till September. We got nothing in August. And then we go to September, late September, to get the fourth pack. And then we wait again all the way to November 13th. And the dates are subject to change. This is what they've put out there. They haven't even given us the full list of the third pack that we're paying for. So this is going to get updated and it could tweak the dates. I don't think they would veer off very far from what they have announced. I think that it would be very, very close, or these are going to end up being the set dates. But there are gaps. And I think what we're going to end up seeing in between the DLC, and I am speculating and I love it here today, I think that in between each of those packs, everybody, that you're gonna see a heavy push for my faction, which could be good or bad. When I look at the gap between the third pack and the fourth pack from July 24th to September 20th, I have to think about what PLEs are running during all of those months. So at the beginning of May, we're gonna get WWE Backlash, and then we're getting May 15th, we're getting the ECW pack. So there's probably a very good chance that we're going to see a Backlash My Faction pack come out at that time. In July, we got Money in the Bank happening right here in Canada, in Toronto. And that's sandwiched between the second pack and the third pack. Now we don't get any DLC in August, but WWE does have SummerSlam. And so I would really think that they would do a big push in that time, since there is no DLC coming out, that you could see something like a SummerSlam pack coming in for my faction with exclusive downloadable content. That's the point here. It's not just to talk about that there's going to be card packs. There are going to be card packs every single month. That's what they did last year and the year before, and they tie them up with the PLEs and the timelines for them. This year is different because by all accounts, all the reports that are going on online, that there are going to be downloadable wrestlers, downloadable superstars that you could either grind out with my faction points, and or you can use your credit card and you can use real money and buy exclusive superstars that you could play offline outside of my faction. And if they are going to do this, and at the time of doing this video, 2K hasn't revealed anything about my faction yet, so I can see them filling the gaps between the DLC dates with more exclusive stuff, more exclusive content for my faction, to kind of have an ebb and flow between these two. And you're gonna have people going in to get my faction stuff, and let's just say in between the DLC packs and at SummerSlam, what if they're gonna drop things like, I don't know, a Triple H or Big Papa Pomp or different superstars? What if someone like Torrie Wilson, for example, is not in the DLC, but what if they have her for my faction as an exclusive reward? WWE also has in August, not only SummerSlam, but Bash in Berlin. So you got those two giant PLEs for WWE. Great time to market some exclusive content during that time for my faction. And then you've got the fourth pack coming out for 2K24. And beyond September, we're looking at Survivor Series, and then that final WCW pack coming real late, November 13th, which I like that they're stretching this out. I wonder how this strategy is going to work for them, because usually we've seen the DLC finish up in like August, and then we're done and we're sitting and Matt's waiting for more information about the next year's game. This is going very late in the season, because if they are going to continue with the release schedule of having the next game come out in the following March, like we're gonna get this year, I like that. I like the game coming out in March. This is pushing content very late, so it's gonna keep people going for like another month and keep coming back to the game if everything works well and everyone's happy with it. And then if they continue on with the My Faction content and it's good, and they allow for you to purchase or grind and use points to get exclusive characters, that could work too, as long as price points are okay and they're not price gouging stuff and it's balanced and there's value there. Otherwise, people just don't have to play it, and that's okay. But that could take content for the game to like December and then January. And if you guys know, in a January time, they usually shut down the servers for the previous year's game, so it's wrapping things up. But they like to push my faction, like the last 2 years, they pushed it very late into the year. If their my faction strategy does work out this year, it means that players are going to have the opportunity to get more wrestlers and keep coming back for more. So what do you think about the DLC pack, the Pat McAfee pack, playable co-hosts, whatever that's gonna mean? Are you optimistic about it, or do you feel like it's gonna just kind of come up short? Guys, if you enjoy the content here, do me a favor, hit subscribe, hit the like button on this. Enjoy the game as it's gonna come out next week. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.